Okay, magic words. The magic words only work, though, if you're asking. So we have to develop the art of the ask. That means you just must say to yourself, I'm going to go out and ask, A-S-K. Because remember, when your mouth is open, your business is open, and when your mouth is closed, so is your business. So you need to remember to always have your mouth open and ask people about this business. Well, I think I kind of alluded to a simple script that works in any situation, but I'm going to go ahead and give you the words now. And this is what I call the team building script that I have given to my unit for 17 years. And this is what it is. It basically says, you always say their name, Denise. Is Mary Kay something you would ever consider hearing more about for yourself? Maybe as a hobby or part-time or maybe even full-time. You know what? I think you'd be great, and I think you'd be great because you've got 2 small children and your husband is the coach at the high school and you probably know lots of people, and I just would really like to work with you. You have to give them the reason why you think they'd be good. But the whole premise is to say, is Mary Kay something you would ever consider hearing more about or reading more about? As a hobby, give them options, part-time or maybe even full-time someday. I think you'd be great because, and you fill in the blank. And you know why you think they'd be great because you know their circumstance. Maybe they work at the hospital. Maybe they work weekend shifts. Maybe they just really aren't happy with, their career right now. Knowing what their reason is for wanting to do this is how you fill in the blank. So one more time, Denise, is Mary Kay something you'd ever consider for yourself? Or maybe hear more about, as a hobby for you, maybe part-time, maybe additional income, or maybe even full-time. I think you'd be great because, and I would love to work with you. I would love to work with you as a nice touch at the end of, you won't be alone. People don't want to think they're going to be brought in and then just left. They want to know that they're going to be able to partner with you. And so, again, is Mary Kay something you'd ever consider? Everyone will consider something. Sometimes we get so excited after a workshop like this that we run out and we go, you want to sell Mary Kay? Or, oh my gosh, you're so gorgeous. We attack people with our enthusiasm instead of really methodically working through, how is this going to benefit you in your life? And how can I do this subtle, soft, but very direct approach to invite somebody to consider the Mary Kay opportunity for themselves? You may go out of here and call your customers and say, hey, Susie, this is Kathy. Hello. I just came from really an incredible workshop, and I just realized I have never taken the time to give you information about our wonderful opportunity with Mary Kay, and you've been such a great and loyal customer. I just can't believe I haven't done that with you. Would it be all right if I put some information in the mail, and, just for taking a look at it, and I'm going to let you have your next reorder with a special little gift, or I'm going to give you your next reorder, your product reorder at this discount, or whatever you want to say. But just call and say, I just came from a workshop and I'm so excited and I just want you to know I really appreciate you. I thank you for being part of my customer base. I thank you for loving Mary Kay products, and I thank you for X amount of classes that you've hosted. I really appreciate you. She will be just off the wall just with a compliment of the business relationship that you have. And you know what? She's not going to tell you she won't read anything. So think about mailing her something as a thank you. But anyway, some magic words. I've used the same old words because all I do is put new heart behind them. You don't have to think of catchy new things to say. I say the same things I've been saying for 17 and a half years, and I'm sure I'll say them until the day I can't say them anymore. And one of those things is when I'm talking with someone or I'm watching them at a facial or a class or we're doing a Mary Kay interview, I just look at them and I'll say, Denise, are you happy doing what you're doing right now? And they may say yes and, or, no, but I end with, do you want to do it the rest of your life? Many people cannot say yes that what they're doing currently is what they want to do the rest of their life. That's a long time commitment, hopefully. And so that really gets people thinking, are you happy doing what you're doing right now, Jill? Do you want to do it the rest of your life? I would love to share with you something that really I think is something I know I'll do the rest of my life. I enjoy it so much. And when you stop and consider the fear behind people's decisions, I think when people consider Mary Kay, one of the most comforting things you can say to them is, once you learn how to conduct a Mary Kay skincare class, you never have to learn it again. I mean, really and truly, it's new people and new faces, but it's the same procedure. And so I think that gives them comfort to know they don't have to continually go back to school. Sure, they might want to have some new product updates, but as far as the procedure itself, it will remain the same, virtually the same. And this is one I told you I used the other night at the department store. Gosh, you are so sharp. I would never forgive myself if I didn't take the opportunity to pass out my card to you. You are the kind of person I would really just cherish in my portfolio, or I'd love to have. I'd be honored if you would say yes to be in my glamour portfolio. You know, I mean, has anyone ever taken the time to offer you a complimentary glamour makeover or manicure with Mary Kay? Again, has anyone ever taken the time to offer you? That's like something, you know, we're so busy again. Has anybody taken the time? I'd like to be that person. Another thing is that I use to warm book, to learn how to warm book. These are the words that I used. As I shared with you, that was the most fearful part of my business. So let me tell you how I faced that fear. I immediately let them know that that was my fear. I remember many instances watching somebody and thinking, okay, I have to muster up my courage. I got to work up on this one. Okay, Lord, give me the words. I don't know what to say. And finally I thought, I'm just going to let her know how nervous I am. And I would walk up to somebody and I'd say, you know, the most difficult thing for me to do in my career is to walk up to somebody like you that is so sharp. But you know what? I would never forgive myself if I didn't. I'd like to extend my business card to you. I'm with Mary Kay. And you are so sharp. But I used to say the most difficult thing for me is to walk up to somebody I've never met before, but I must give you my card. And I would let them know, because when I would lower their defenses, letting them know that this was the hardest thing for me to do, they would be so kind to me, like, oh, you did such a great job. You know, they would almost have that compassionate feeling toward me. So I would always let them know right up front what was, you know, what I wanted them to know, and that always worked for me. It was always really just my lucky line. If I'm at a restaurant or somebody is working feverishly at one of the department stores and I just see that they're fast, they're looking for the next customer, they're efficient at what they do, I say, excuse me, but I could not help but notice how efficient you are at what you do. You would be so great in the business that I'm in. I would love to extend my business card to you, because you're just really an efficient worker, and I'm really impressed. That's just a compliment. I want you to know that sincerely from my heart. You are doing 10 things at once. You know, compliment them on their work style. I have brought many women into this company that have served me well at a restaurant, that have done the and then some, above and beyond, you know, and they're managing 10 different tables, but they're doing an outstanding job in being nice at the same time. I leave my business card every time I go to a restaurant. There's not a time that I don't. I make sure my tip is good, and I leave my business card, and on the back of my business card I always write, I would love to offer you a complimentary manicure or makeover, and if you call me first, I'll have an extra special something just for you. You are an outstanding server. Whatever, make sure, and I always used to leave my cards with notes. I wouldn't just leave a business card. I always put a smiley face on it in the form of a heart. Something that they won't throw away. Something that makes sure stand out above anybody else's. Something that feels warm and fuzzy and personal and loving. And just a little and then some. Another thing, I bet how many people have ever approached you about Mary Kay? I bet tons of people. I'm sure I'm not the first. If somebody really sharp, I'll say, okay, how many Mary Kay people have come up to you and told you they want you in their portfolio? I mean, I just hit that one head on and they go, nobody. I say, oh, get out. You're kidding me. You know what? It's because you're so sharp. You're intimidating to people. I have got to give you my card. I would love to feature you in my before and after portfolio. You guys, you don't know how good that one is. I'm sure, you know, how many people have come up to you and approached you? You are so sharp. You know, people are flattered by that. And I'll tell you something, the really sharp people that you are intimidated by, so is everybody else. They have never been asked. And they are sincerely flattered, because sharp women do intimidate other women. We look at them, we stare at them. Or another one is if their skin is beautiful. Excuse me, I could not help but notice your complexion. You have incredible skin. And I teach skincare with Mary Kay, so I notice beautiful skin. Have you ever taken the time to try the Mary Kay product line? I would value your opinion. I'm sure whatever you use, it must be great. You know, and so I notice people and I compliment people. If I like their sharp hairstyle, I mean, I go wild over a great looking shortcut and I say, I love your hair, where did you get it done? And that's how I open up a conversation to warm book somebody. Or if I like their handbag or I like their suit, I say, excuse me, I have to know where you got that suit from, and is it recent? It's just absolutely outstanding and I would love to buy the same one. You know, compliment them. If it's something that you're really attracted to, make sure that's how you start the conversation. Okay? Okay, let's see, something else that I say. When I'm talking to them and trying to, you know, get them to make their final decision, you know, many people, as I said, they give you many different reasons why they don't want to do it. And I'll just say, you know what? Gosh, Denise, you will never know if you never try. You will just never know if you never try. And I really believe that you would be great, and I will invest myself in working with you because I really believe that much in your ability. And I think we could really develop a great relationship. Tell her why. But you will never know if you never try. Another thing I say is, how many times in life do we hear people say, oh, gosh, I wish I had taken piano lessons, I wish I'd finished college, I wish I'd have done this, or I wish I'd have done that. And I say, instead of being a wish I had, be one of those people that said, geez, I'm glad I tried that. I'm glad I tried that. That was part of my life for a while. I said it may not be a yes for a lifetime commitment, but you know what? Just give it a try and be one of those people that say, I'm really glad I tried that. And I always say, I don't know anybody that has come into Mary Kay and left Mary Kay without a better feeling of something that they have gained by their association with this company. I always say, I don't know anybody that's been hurt by their association with Mary Kay. People are always very positive by what they've gained from their experience of being in the culture that we have in Mary Kay that is so unique and so foreign to corporate America. We have a culture that really offers something to women called support, called encouragement, called love, and you don't find that many places. Another way to help eliminate fears, and in closing, is, gosh, if I taught you everything I knew, do you think you could learn? If I taught you everything I knew, and I will do that, I'm sure you can learn. I believe you can learn. Many times their fear is in, can I do this? It's not that they don't want to do it, it's can they do it? They don't see themselves yet doing it. Okay. Oh, let me see, another thing. What do you like? Of course, this is great in closing. What do you like about the job you currently have? Of course, we've already asked this. And if you could change anything, what would it be? That always helps to really define what it is that is their area of dissatisfaction. Or they say, oh, I'm not the salesperson type. I'll say, well, I'm really glad about that. Because you know what? I can teach you how to teach skincare, and I believe the product sells itself. I believe when we show and tell what we love about this product, it sells itself. When we show and try to sell it, women shut down. Because women love to buy, but they hate to be sold. So I'm glad that you feel that strongly. I felt the same way. And in hearing what I'm saying, I want you to hear something called Feel, Felt, Found. I remember hearing this as a brand new consultant. Whenever you get an objection, you can generally say, gosh, Sylvia, I know exactly how you feel. I was really shy too. I felt exactly like you did. But let me tell you what I found. After attending the Mary Kay support, the events, the success meetings, you know what I found? I found that I really wasn't shy at all. I just learned more through, and I gained confidence, and it's really been the thing that I've gained the most from this career, even apart from the income and the prizes and the cars. It's been the personal growth. And the fact that I'm not shy anymore, and I'm so grateful that that part of my life has unfolded as a result of somebody sharing this with me. So I truly understand how you feel, because I truly felt that way. But I'm so glad that I didn't stay that way. Feel, felt, found is such a profound way to come with their objections, with an understanding instead of just trying to nail her and say, well, what about this? What about this? It's just a real heart kind of a philosophy that you can use on any objection. When somebody says, I just don't think I could do it, I'll say, well, pretend you're somebody else dynamic. Just put yourself in their shoes and just take yourself right out of the whole picture and just go through it like you're her. What would she say? How would she stand? What would she do? What would she say? And you'll have renewed confidence. Pretend I was Rena Tarbett. When I did an interview, I knew her interview so well. I knew the words to use so well that I would say what she said, and I would even throw the little twang in there, the southern twang, and think, wow, that was just like Rena. And I felt empowered by that. I felt empowered by that. And you can feel empowered by other people until you feel the power within yourself. And the power within yourself is only created and developed through your doing it, the same thing over and over again, because repetition builds technique. Technique builds confidence. Confidence increases sales. And sales increase team members. And team members increase future. So pretend to be somebody else. Another question I ask people that are fearful is I say, if you knew that you couldn't fail, would you try? If you knew you couldn't fail. Because in Mary Kay, we talk about failing forward to success. The only way you can fail in Mary Kay is if you quit. Nobody's ever going to release you except for yourself. So let's just fail forward together. You can't imagine the mistakes that I've made. I know how you feel. I felt the same way. This is what I used to do at my classes, but guess what I found? The more I did them, the greater I became. You see, feel, felt, found again comes into play. You just have to say it over and over. Your children, you can use feel, felt, found on them. It works, try it, and they'll be turning it around and using it on you. And another thing I might say is, gosh, we've never had anybody that we couldn't teach. You're going to be great. I believe in you. And I can't wait to share with you everything that I've gained. I'll take you to my class. You can watch me work. You know, taking people with you is the smartest thing you could ever do, to have them watch you. It'll be the greatest performance of your life when you have somebody there observing. It's much greater than when you're there all by yourself and it's just the consultants. The new customers. It's much greater when you have a team member of your own there. I just want to say that you belong, and I believe this, to the building of the wrecking crew of you. Depending on what you say to yourself, you are building yourself up or you are ruining yourself by the things that you say. Be careful what you say to yourself, because a positive attitude yields great dividends. So learn to be kind to yourself. Be so kind to yourself, as Debbie said. It's very difficult to give something away when you don't love yourself. And it really does start with really feeling good about who you are and what you have to offer, and what a great and wonderful person you are. Okay, we perform the way we see ourselves. Just remember that we have to see ourselves as somebody great, because if we don't, we're going to perform like somebody that isn't great. I want to share something else with you. There's a phrase that you can almost generally use at every objection, and it's called, "That's exactly why you need Mary Kay." You know, I've been saying that one for years, and I'm sorry for those of you who have already heard this before, but I can tell you that it still works today, and it'll work until the end of time. When somebody says, "Oh, the time isn't right now," I'll say, that's exactly why you need to do this right now. The time will never be right. I don't think the exact moment of certainty for any decision is ever going to come. We'll always have. Here's a good thing to say, is we spend a lifetime in the as soon as syndrome. As soon as I finish redecorating the house, as soon as the children are in school, as soon as summer is over, don't you agree that we're always in the as soon as syndrome mode? So why don't we just go ahead and get started now? Or if they say I'm too busy, I'll say that's exactly why you need Mary Kay. Because all of those people that you are busy with could be future contacts for you in your Mary Kay career. And right now, you can start establishing relationships with all of those people. And then when the day comes that you decide that your busyness, really you can start eliminating some of the things that you've already volunteered forever and ever on. You could start putting Mary Kay into those slots and start to build a business. If they say, I'm too shy, I'll say that's exactly why you need Mary Kay. This is such a great self-improvement course. It's just such a wonderful support group, such a wonderful network. I had a friend who did this once and failed. That's exactly why you need to do it. You need to know that not everybody should be judged by what somebody else does or doesn't do. If you wanted to learn to swim, would you judge your ability to swim by your person who can't swim, or would you go out and try it yourself and learn how to do it yourself? Sure you would. So that's exactly why you need Mary Kay. I don't have any money. Oh my gosh, that's exactly why you need to do this. I'll say, you know what? What do you think is going to change 5 years from now if you don't do something to affect a difference in your life right now? If you don't have any money, I really encourage you to do this right now. Let's hold some classes. Let's work together. I work too much. That's exactly why you need Mary Kay. Maybe we can help eliminate some of the other odd jobs. You can almost use it in everything. Feel, felt, found, and that's exactly why you need. So those are just some of the things that I wanted to share with you, overcoming fears and objections. If they say I have a full-time job, say, do you want to do it the rest of your life? And if the answer to that question is no, then I really encourage you just to put your little toe in the waters of Mary Kay and just see if it's something that you would enjoy, becoming more familiar with, and possibly this is something that you would enjoy doing the rest of your life, but you will never know if you never try. You see, all those phrases work together in almost every setting. But again, until you have the phrases in your mind to use and you feel comfortable with them, you're never going to use them. And you know what? I remember, and I'm just going to share this, and I'm going to bring Debbie on to close this out, but I remember so vividly coming back from my first shows and saying, I'm done. I have no bookings. I can't warm book anybody. I was in the I can't, I'm done, I'm through, I'm washed up, I'm wiped out. That's where I was. That was my frame of mind. And I remember saying, what am I going to do? And she said, Kathy, what's the correct booking approach? And I said, I don't know, but those are not my words. I'm not going to use them. That is so canned and so phony, and it's so un-me. And she said, well, unless you want to see a difference in your business, you need to learn those phony words and make them your own. And I remember learning the correct booking approach and the tentative booking approach and saying it so many times over and over that I could say it just like I could say, now I lay me down to sleep, I pray the Lord my soul to keep. I mean, I knew it like I could say the Pledge of Allegiance. I knew it that well. And I started to use those words, but I started to put their name in front of it and my smile behind it. And I got bookings like crazy. I was so booked, I was booked way out in advance. And I never had to worry about bookings again. So if you want to learn how to, bring people into this company, you need to learn the words. Is Mary Kay something you would ever consider hearing more about or reading more about? I would love to work with you, and let me tell you why, and I think you would be so great. You need to learn that so that it just rolls out, and I promise you, you will see incredible results if you take the words and make them your own. And just practice, 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 practice. Repetition builds technique. And now Debbie's going to close us out with some 12 important recruiter responsibilities that I want you to just write down quickly so that when you get that team, you know what to do with that team.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the moral of the story is don't try to reinvent the wheel. Take what works and go out and use it. Oh, so important. We've talked today about how and why to team build, the mechanical aspects of team building, how to prospect team members, picking team members up, how to secure guest meetings. We've given you the quote-unquote words to use, how to overcome objections, fears, how to use feel, felt, and found. So I am secure in the thought that if you go out and use these, you are going to build one of the strongest, most dynamic teams that Mary Kay has ever seen. Am I right? Am I right? Are you going to go do it? Well, I hope you do. I hope you'll use a portion, if not all of this morning, to your benefit and the benefit of your future. And so I'm going to assume that you're going to use it, and I'm going to assume that you're going to build one of the strongest teams in Mary Kay. And so I'm going to give you very quickly in closing a 12-point checklist that I want you to have in front of you and go through on a regular basis that will help you build a strong team. Building numbers that last, not just for today. You want a future, don't you? You don't want just immediate gratification of the day. I want you to remember one very important thing, that your team is a reflection of you. And it'd be really important for you to write that down and to read that every morning. My team is a reflection of me. What I do, what I don't do, will be reflected in them. So let's very quickly, rapid fire, go through 12 things, 12 points in a checklist. Number 1, holding classes. Am I consistently holding classes? You need to be. You need to be consistently holding skincare classes. You need to designate that I'll hold no less than 10 classes a month if you're serious about wanting to build a team. Or more importantly, 3 a week. If you'll hold 3 a week, you'll be writing your ticket to the top in Mary Kay. Isn't that simple when you think about it? 3 classes a week is what I built my directorship on in 9 months. It is truly what Kathy built her directorship on in a very short amount of time. So 3 classes a week. Am I consistently holding them every single week? Number 2, do I have a consistent weekly sales goal that I'm shooting for? I'm not just ending up on Saturday tallying what I've sold. I really have a clearly defined retail goal, and I'm going after it every single week. And that retail goal should be a result from your classes, not your reorder business. Some of you that have been in a while, you know how easy it is to have $200, $300, $400 a week in reorder business. I don't want you to count that. I want you to pretend that doesn't exist. I want you to go out every week and get your retail goal on new business. Can you see the difference? Can you see your business exploding if you'll put the retail order or the retail amount, the reorder amount on the side and add it on top of your new business retail? Number 3, big star next to this one, I'm consistently going to be a star consultant every single quarter because it truly has been and always will be the railroad track to run on. Star consultantship is the foundation of your business. Number 4, you must commit to attending every function, every company function that's humanly possible. Every weekly sales meeting, that your director is holding, every career conference, every seminar, if you're serious-minded about wanting to build a team and your future. Number 5, I'm going to set a recruiting goal from this day forward on a monthly basis. I'm going to open every month up, the beginning of every month, knowing fully well how many people I am going to actively support and bring onto my team. So I'm going to have a recruiting goal every month. Number 6, I am going to start practicing strong business principles. How you run your business will be mirrored by your team and their business practices. And there's 2 areas I want to be specific in under strong business practices. Number 1, weekly accomplishment sheets need to be filled out weekly. That's why they're called weekly accomplishment sheets. They're not called monthly or quarterly. They're called weekly. And those should be sent or given to your director every single week because she's been trained on how to read them and how to help you grow your business. More importantly, you need to be filling them out for you. They're your accountability sheet. And do yourself the biggest favor of all. Don't wait till Saturday to fill it out. Fill out every single day as the day closes. That shows you what you need to do in the remainder of the week to meet your goal. Do you see what I'm saying? So as Tuesday closes out, fill out what you did on Tuesday and know that you have $300 more to go before you hit your $500 goal for the end of the week. Don't wait till the end of the week and miss your goal by 100, when in fact, had you known it on Wednesday, you could have made it up. So weekly accomplishment sheets are very, very important for your business practices. And number 2, I want you to start practicing strong money management skills. This is a business, and it must be run as such. This is not a plaything. You really need to be practicing and utilizing the 40-60 split from this day forward, and then you'll run a financially sound business. I stand before you today as a consultant and a director that never deviated from that plan, and I believe that's why I have a financially sound business today. I never robbed from Peter to pay Paul. Every week I sat down and I took 40% for me and 60% went back in the business. Now the 40% for me sometimes went into a direction of a business, but that was my choice. That was my paycheck. But you really need to get on healthy grounds in the financial area, or soon it will cave in on you. So strong money management skills are so important. So important. Number 7, always, always, always display a positive attitude with your team. Now, I know you are with you and your family, but always display a positive attitude with your team. And this truly is a learned skill. Never be negative to a team member. All that does is damage. It will never lift your people. It will only lean on them and crush them out of the business. That kind of talk will help no one, especially you and especially your team. When you need assistance, go to director. Don't go to another team member and tell her about the postponements you're having, because you can pretty much mirror it and know that it's going to happen in her business next week. What the mind can conceive, it will achieve, and you've just planted in her mind that postponements will enter into her world and her realm next week. So go to the person that can help you. Seek help from your director. Number 8, personal goals in 3 areas every month. First, your retail goal, second, your wholesale goal, and third, your recruiting goal. Because clearly defined personal goals that are written out and followed through will again be mirrored by your team. Share your monthly goals with your team. Get them engaged in them in hopes that it will inspire them to do the same. Run the race together. Join arm in arm and go up the ladder together with your team. It's amazing what will happen if you embrace them in that fashion. Number 9. As your team starts to evolve from 1 to 2 to 10 to 12, start establishing team goals. Give them some direction, something to shoot for. It'd be a little like going to your unit meeting and having your director not say one goal that you and the entire unit are trying to achieve for the year. You would be directionless. The same thing holds true with your team. Challenge your team to monthly team goals. Have fun with it. Have a weekly goal, that the one that hands out the most cards on your team, or the one that books the most, the one that holds the most, the one that sells the most, is treated by you a piece of pie, a cup of coffee after meeting, and you all go and celebrate in her success. That kind of building and esprit de corps will launch you into the most successful unit the company has ever seen, if not the most successful business you'll ever have. So start establishing team goals with your people, because they will support that which they help create and support in their activity. So get them involved. Number 10, follow company suggestions and guidelines. Very important. You know, this is a very important ingredient of a strong leader and a strong team builder. Support the go-give spirit and let your team observe you doing so. Support the golden rule and let them watch you do that. Ask yourself this question if you're ever in a position of not knowing what to do. What would Mary Kay Ash do if she were in my shoes right now? And 100% of the time, you'll be making the right decision. If you ask yourself, what would Mary Kay do in this recruiting dispute? What would Mary Kay do in this selling situation? What would the woman, the lady herself, do if posed with this? Remember one thing. Other people's customers are exactly that. Other people's customers. And we must always abide by that. That's what separates us from all the rest. When you run into someone who is actively being serviced by a Mary Kay beauty consultant, you tell her how thrilled you are that she's using the product, and you